Before I speak about ambition, before I speak about courage, before I speak about momentum, leadership, innovation, or purpose, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a breath. Feel your heartbeat. That rhythm you feel in your chest is motion. Life itself is motion. From the moment we are born, we move, we reach, we crawl, we walk, we fall, we rise again. Motion is not something we learn. It is something we are born into. Yet somewhere along the journey of adulthood, between responsibility and routine, between fear and expectation, many of us slow down. Not physically, but internally. We begin to hesitate. We begin to doubt. We begin to wait. We wait for clarity. We wait for confidence. We wait for permission. We wait for the perfect time. But history does not wait. Opportunity does not wait. Progress does not wait. And neither should you. The theme tonight is simple, yet powerful. Force in motion. Not force as aggression, not force as dominance, not force as noise, but force as energy directed with intention. Because force sitting still is potential. Force in motion is transformation. America understands motion. This nation was built by people who moved across oceans, across deserts, across ideas and ideologies. But tonight is not about the motion of a country. It is about the motion of a person. It is about the moment you decide, I will not remain where I am. Because when an individual moves with purpose, communities change. When communities move with unity, nations transform. And when nations move with vision, the world shifts. This evening, we are not here merely to be inspired. We are here to be activated. So let us begin. Before we speak about personal ambition, before we speak about courage, before we speak about individual transformation, we must begin with a bigger picture. Because no idea lives in isolation. No dream grows in a vacuum, and no movement begins without context. The United States of America is not merely a geographic location on a map. It is not just 50 states stitched together by highways and history books. It is a living, breathing experiment, one built not on comfort, but on movement. From the very beginning, this country has been defined by people who refuse to stay still, the courage to cross oceans, the willingness to build from nothing, the decision to move toward uncertainty rather than away from it. The American story is not a story of perfection. It is a story of motion. From the drafting of the Constitution to the westward expansion, from industrial revolutions to digital revolutions, from civil rights marches to technological breakthroughs. This nation moves. And when it moves with purpose, the world shifts. America was not built by spectators. It was built by people in motion. That same spirit lives in you. 2. The physics of your potential. Now let us step away from history and look inward. Every one of us carries invisible energy. You may not see it in the mirror. You may not measure it on a scale. You may not hear it in applause, but it exists. It is the energy of your thoughts, the weight of your experiences, the strength of your resilience, the depth of your character. Science teaches us that force equals mass times acceleration. Your mass is who you are, your values, discipline, scars, lessons, integrity. Your acceleration is what you do, your action, your risks, your persistence. When identity meets action, force is created. But here's the truth many avoid. Acceleration requires movement. Thinking is not motion. Planning is not motion. Wishing is not motion. Only action creates force. Your potential is not your power. Your potential is stored energy. Your power begins the moment you move. 3. The danger of stillness. Stillness is seductive. It whispers safety. It promises predictability. It offers comfort. And comfort feels good. But comfort, when prolonged, becomes confinement. Businesses that stop innovating decline. Athletes who stop training regress. Leaders who stop learning fade. Stillness may protect you from failure, but it also protects you from growth. Many people confuse peace with passivity, but there is a difference. Peace is internal stability. Passivity is external stagnation. When you remain still out of fear, you are not protecting yourself. You are shrinking yourself. Motion may be uncomfortable, but stagnation is fatal to purpose. 4. The courage to start every great journey begins invisibly, before the applause, before the recognition, before the headlines. There is a quiet moment, a decision, a whisper in the heart that says, I cannot remain here. The hardest motion is the first one. The first step into change, the first conversation, the first risk, the first declaration of belief in yourself. Courage does not eliminate fear. It moves despite it. In American culture, we celebrate big wins. But no one sees the trembling hands before the leap. Behind every successful entrepreneur is a moment of doubt. Behind every champion is a moment of uncertainty. The difference is simple. They moved. 5. Momentum, the multiplier of force. Starting is powerful, but continuing is transformational. Momentum is the quiet multiplier of effort. It is what turns small habits into life changes. It is what turns daily discipline into mastery. It is what turns persistence into legacy. Momentum does not require perfection. It requires repetition. The American dream was never built overnight. Cities were constructed brick by brick. Institutions were strengthened policy by policy. Movements were fueled march by march. Momentum is built by showing up when it's inconvenient, by working when no one is watching, by staying consistent when motivation fades. Motion creates momentum. Momentum creates power. Number 6, force in adversity. If motion were easy, everyone would succeed. But motion creates friction. Resistance is not a sign that you are wrong. It is often a sign that you are growing. A muscle strengthens under strain. Steel hardens under heat. Character deepens under pressure. Adversity is not punishment. It is preparation. America itself has faced adversity repeatedly. Economic crises, social unrest, global conflict. Yet each time, the response was not retreat. It was recalibration and motion. The question is not whether you will face resistance. You will. The question is whether you will interpret resistance as a stop sign or as strength training. 7. Leadership. Moving others' force becomes extraordinary when it inspires. Leadership is not about titles. It is not about hierarchy. It is not about control. Leadership is influence in motion. When one person chooses integrity, others notice. When one person chooses courage, others gain permission. When one person moves with conviction, momentum spreads. Parents lead families. Teachers lead classrooms. Entrepreneurs lead teams. Citizens lead communities. You may not see yourself as a leader, but someone is watching you. Your motion may be the spark for theirs. 8. Innovation. The American engine. Innovation is imagination applied through motion. It is not the idea alone that changes the world. It is the execution of the idea. This nation has been propelled forward by innovators who refuse to settle. The Wright brothers tested flight against ridicule. Inventors experimented thousands of times before success. Modern entrepreneurs risk failure daily in pursuit of progress. Innovation demands motion despite uncertainty. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is data in motion. If you are afraid of failing, you are afraid of moving. And if you are afraid of moving, you are afraid of becoming. 9. The power of collective motion. Individual force is powerful. Collective force is unstoppable. When communities unite, transformation accelerates. When citizens engage, democracy strengthens. When people align around shared purpose, history shifts. Collective motion built infrastructure, expanded rights, advanced technology, improved education. No single individual built this nation alone. Progress happens when personal motion becomes shared momentum. You are not just responsible for your own movement. You are part of something larger. And when you move with others, your impact multiplies. Number 10, breaking inertia. Inertia is invisible but powerful. It is the force that keeps people where they are. It is the voice that says, later, not yet, maybe someday. Inertia disguises itself as practicality, but often it is fear. Every breakthrough in history required someone to break inertia, to challenge norms, to question comfort, to disrupt routine. The cost of staying the same is often higher than the cost of change. Inertia keeps you safe. Motion makes you alive. Number 11, identity in motion. Many people believe they are fixed, defined by their upbringing, limited by their past, trapped by mistakes. But identity is not concrete. It is clay. You are not who you were 5 years ago. You are not who you were yesterday. Growth requires movement of identity. America itself has evolved, expanding freedoms, redefining opportunity, re-examining justice. If a nation can evolve, so can you. You are allowed to become more. Next 12, force with purpose. Not all movement is meaningful. Running without direction leads nowhere. Energy without alignment creates chaos. Purpose is the compass of force. It answers, why am I moving? Who benefits from my motion? What legacy am I building? Purpose does not eliminate struggle. It makes struggle worthwhile. When force aligns with purpose, motion becomes mission. And mission changes the world. The decision to move. Every chapter of history, every breakthrough, Every transformation began with motion. Tonight is not about inspiration alone. It is about decision. You can remain where you are, or you can move. Move toward excellence. Move toward reconciliation. Move toward service. Move toward courage. Potential waits. Motion builds. Be the force. Create the motion. Build the momentum. America's next chapter of movement will not be written by spectators. It will be written by people who choose to move. As we come to the end of this conversation, I want you to understand something clearly. This was never just a speech. It was a mirror, a reminder, a call. We have talked about America, a nation built in motion. We have talked about physics, where force requires acceleration. We have talked about courage, the power of starting. We have talked about momentum, the strength of consistency. We have talked about adversity, the resistance that shapes us. We have talked about leadership, innovation, collective power, identity, and purpose. But all of it comes down to one truth. Motion is a choice. Every morning, you wake up, you choose. You choose whether to remain comfortable or to grow. You choose whether to complain or to create. You choose whether to wait or to move. No one can make that choice for you. Not your employer, not your family, not your circumstances, not your past. Your life will not be defined by what you intended to do. It will be defined by what you moved to do. Years from now, you will not regret the effort. You will not regret the discipline. You will not regret the courage. You will regret hesitation. You will regret silence. You will regret staying still when your spirit was asking you to move. The world does not need more observers. It needs contributors. It needs teachers who move beyond minimum effort. It needs parents who move with intentional love. It needs entrepreneurs who move with ethical courage. It needs citizens who move with civic responsibility. It needs you in motion. Imagine what would happen if every person in this room decided tonight to accelerate toward purpose. Imagine the families strengthened, the businesses built, the communities healed, the ideas launched, the injustices challenged, the futures redesigned. That is not fantasy. That is force in motion. And here's the most powerful part. You do not need permission to begin. You do not need perfection to begin. You do not need applause to begin. You only need decision. When you leave here tonight, life will not suddenly become easier, but it can become clearer. You are not here to drift. You are not here to shrink. You are not here to simply exist. You are here to move toward growth, move toward excellence, move toward service, move toward impact, move toward courage, because potential is silent. But motion speaks, motion builds, motion transforms, motion inspires, motion multiplies. Be the force, create the motion, sustain the momentum, lead with purpose. Let history say of this generation, they did not remain still, they moved. Thank you. Now, go create force in motion.